Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today I prepared for you a yoga class that can help you if you're experiencing back pain or hip pain or a little bit of both. So all of the poses we're going to do should hopefully release some of those areas. As always, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up after the class. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in any of my online classes, you can visit my website, maxifisio.com. So we're going to get started into our back. And you can have a bit of support if you need to for your neck. Otherwise, just simply lie, roll to your side, then onto your back. And we're going to start in Bandha Konasana, butterfly pose. We're going to bring the feet and the knees to touch. Connect the soles of the feet, open the hips. Make sure your back stays not too much on an arch, roughly neutral, maybe slightly flatter. Make sure the soles of the feet are active. And we're going to start either with our hands on our thighs, maybe one hand on the chest, one hand on the tummy, or arms by your side, whatever you find more comfortable. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And we're going to take a deep breath out through the mouth, letting go. Okay, continue breathing in and out through your nose, slowing down the breath and setting your intention for this class. Continue pressing the heels, the toes together. And then while we continue here, I'm going to activate a little bit our Ujjayi pranayama. So creating a bit of a constriction at the back of the throat as you inhale and as you exhale. Or just simply thinking of activating your Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, your Uddiyana Bandha, your core on the exhale. Whatever feels more natural for you. And we're going to stay here for another 3 breaths. Great, as you complete this exhale, slowly bring your hips back to center. You can use your hands to help you. Now we're going to hug the knees. We're going to do a Panasana, knees to chest pose. Just hug them lightly to start with, because we're still warming up. Keep your breath going. And we're going to begin to circle then the hips, the knees in one direction. Just keep breathing onto your own pace. And then reverse. See if you can this time hug the knees a little bit deeper. And now we're going to take the left leg down. Hug the knee a little bit deeper towards you. Flex all 10 toes. So creating a little bit of compression on the hip. Okay, keep your right hand on the shin, left hand on the hip. Open the right hip without twisting the left hip. Look over towards your left side. So as if you wanted to bring the hip a little bit around. Deep breath again. Come back to center, change your hands, bring the right leg over to where you can. Look over towards your right side. You might feel a bit of a stretch to the right hip now, the glute. Maybe a little bit the lower back as well. And then come back to center, take the hands at the back of the thigh, extend the knee. And just going to point the toes as we breathe in and flex the toes as you breathe out. Great. Maybe your hands will be a bit lower than mine. Maybe your knee will be a bit bent, and that's all right. Okay. Just do a few circles on your foot, one direction. And then the other direction. Great. And then stay flexed. See if you can bring the leg a bit closer to you. Stay, again, lengthen. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lovely. We're going to repeat the same on the other side. So change onto the other leg. You can flex all 10 toes. Begin to compress a little bit the left knee, hip towards you. And then from here, we're going to take the right hand to the hip. Keep the left hand where it is. Open the left hip to the side as if you wanted to bring the knee kind of around and up. Look over towards your right side. Inhale here. Exhale here. Now come back to center. Change your hands and then bring your left leg over. Look over towards the left side. Inhale. Exhale. And then come back to the center, hands to the back of the thigh, extend the leg. You can maybe take the hands a bit higher, otherwise keep them again where it feels good for you, and then begin to point and flex the left foot. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. That's it, releasing the calf, the hamstring. And then from here, begin to circle your foot one direction. Nice controlled circles. And then the other direction. Stay flexed. Maybe bring the knee more towards you. Whatever feels good, try to lengthen. Maybe a touch is stronger. Inhale here. Exhale here. And then release. And we're going to come back to Uttanasana, knees to chest pose once more. Maybe have the knees a bit deeper. Now from here, the feet are going to come down. We're going to take the arms wide and we're going to twist the legs to the left, turn the neck to the right. You can bring your right hand on top of your left hand, on top of your right thigh, and then hold here for 3 breaths. Feeling the breath going into the right lung, the right side of the body. Release your arm, come back to center, and then change the twist the other way. And this time it's going to be your right hand to the left thigh if you want to do the bind. This is optional, you can keep the arms open. And now breathe into the left side of the body 3 times. And come back to the middle. Take the legs a little bit wider. Arms to goal pose, 90 degrees, palms facing up. A nice stretch for the chest. Take the legs again to the left, turn the neck to the right. And now maybe bind your left foot to the right knee. Again, this is optional. You can do it without the bind. 3 breaths again, feeling the right hip area, maybe the lower back opening. And then let's release. Let's do the same to the other side. And now the bind would be with your right foot on the left knee. Feeling the left hip, left side of the lower back. Hold. Great. Come back to the middle. And let's just take the knees to the chest. But this time we're just going to roll into a seat. And we're going to come to diamond pose. So make sure the feet are not too close to you, thinking of doing that sort of diamond shape. Feet to touch, hands towards your ankles. Start here. You can rest maybe the elbows on the shins. Inhale. It's a lovely stretch for the hips, for the glutes. As you exhale, maybe let the head go. It's all right if you can go too low. Just go to where you feel the hips are opening. 3 breaths again. Great, and slowly we're going to bend our knees again, cross over the ankles. We're going to come to 4-point kneeling. We're gonna do cat and cow stretch first. So it's a lovely release for the spine. You can have a bit of a cushion underneath your knees if you need to, a little bit of padding, otherwise knees just normal, hip width, hands down. You can be on your knuckles if you need to protect the wrists. And let's start with the breath. Inhaling for cow, for extending the spine. Exhaling for cat, rounding the spine. And again, inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Again, inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Now release the spine, keep the toes tucked under or tuck them if you don't have them tucked under, and lift your knees for downward facing dog. Let the head go, give it a bit of a shake, pedal your feet, alternating sides, feeling the right, feeling the left. You can move a little bit to the sides. You can bend and extend both knees, whatever feels good for you. I personally like the pedaling best, but you know, there's so many options. Just find a bit of freedom of movement here. And then eventually come down to a static dog, down dog. Hold for full breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Can I take the left foot in, attach? Begin to lift the right leg up to a three-legged dog. It's okay if it's not too high. Open up the hip, bend your knee. Then square the hip again, extend the knee, breathe in. And as you breathe out, take the right foot between your hands. Low lunge. Lift your gaze up, attach, inhale. And then as you exhale, release the knee down. Good. Come onto your hands. So resting the hands on the thigh. For crescent moon pose and Janajasana, inhale, exhale. And now bring your left hand down, bring your right foot a bit wider, and with your right hand we're gonna open up and twist. You can pivot through the foot, look back and release. You'll see this better when I do the left side. I'm basically opening the hip, using my hand to mobilize it. I'm gonna do it twice more. And on this one, I'm gonna stay here. Option 1, just hold this position. Option 2, reach your arm back like this. Option 3, bend your knee for a quads stretch. Grab the foot from the inside and then bend your knee maybe a little bit deeper. This is hard to do, so if you can do the bind, that's okay. You can just maybe keep it like this or like that. Or if you got a yoga belt, you could bring the belt around the foot to help you. 3 breaths. One more. Great. Release. Then from here, both hands on the middle. And we're going to stay either here, maybe come down to one forearm, maybe come down to the other one. You could use a yoga block as well to rest your forearms on. And we'll stay here on lizard pose. 3 breaths again. Great. Come back up onto your hands if you were down. And now pivot your right foot to the left side of the mat. We're going to come down to pigeon. So you're going to try to stay upright to start with. You could use again a block underneath the right hip. Flex the right foot as much as you can. To make it easy, you can bring the foot closer to the hip. And then let's just see if we can come to sleeping pigeon. Folding forward. So strong stretch for the left hip flexor. And the right glute on the other side. You might feel probably the glute more, but the front of the left hip is also opening. Great. From here, we're going to try to make our way to 3-legged dog. So tuck the toes of your left foot. And then can you come back to 3-legged dog? Then return to downward dog. Adjust yourself a little bit. And then we'll try to repeat the same few poses on the other side. So take the right foot a bit on the inside for 3-legged dog. Take the left leg up. Again, you lift to where you can. Then at the end of the movement, open up the hip, bend your knee. Square the hip again. Extend the knee once more. And then bring your foot between your hands for low lunge. Lift the gaze up for a moment, inhale. Drop the knee down as you exhale. Take the hands to the thigh, press up for Crescent Moon and Janayasana. So try to keep the chest upright, leaning forward, feeling the right hip opening, right hip flexors. Great. Take the right hand down. Walk with your foot, left foot a bit to the edge of the mat. Left hand on the left knee. Open the hip, pivot the foot, look back. Breathe in, release, breathe out. Great. And then keep it going. Add a few more times. And the next one we're gonna either hold, option 1, take the arm back, reaching the fingers, option 2, or trying our quads to stretch, option 3, which is a strong. You grab the foot from the inside, bend your knee. Maybe if you can grab the foot, you could hold it like this, or you can use a jogger belt around the foot, or again, one of the other options, which is a little bit easier. So it's a strong stretch for the quads, the right quads, right hip flexor. Gonna hold for 3 deep breaths. Especially when the poses are challenging, connect with the breath. It's a lovely stretch for the hips. A lot of tension we hold on our hip flexors. And that can affect our back. The hip as well, of course. One more breath. Great, slowly release, and we're gonna come into lizard pose. So either you keep the hands on the mat, or you come to one forearm, maybe you come to both. Maybe you can use a block to do something in between and stay there. Again, a strong hip opener. And from here we'll come into pigeon in a moment. Great, so come back up, walk with your left foot to the right side of the mat, drop the knee and settle into pigeon. Keep the toes flexed on your left foot, stay upright. You could maybe place a block underneath your left hip if you feel you need it. And then if we can, let's just move into a sleeping pigeon. Fall forward. Again, you can bring the left foot to the right hip to make it easier. You should be feeling the right hip pocket area, the left glutes, possibly the left glutes more than the right hip flexors, but we're stretching both. It's a stronger stretch, but again, it's so beneficial for the hips and again for the lower back. Because often the lower back is tight because our hips are tight, and obviously vice versa, but more commonly the hips tend, the hip stiffness or the lack of mobility on the hips cause problems on the lower back. So if your hips are not moving, then we'll tend to compensate with the lower back. And obviously, on Western cultures, we do a lot of, sedentary jobs, spending too much time sitting, and again, therefore, that affects the hip and the lower back. So all of these poses are very beneficial for you. One more breath. And let's just make our way back. Tuck the toes of the right foot. Just adjust yourself a little bit so you can come back to three-legged dog. And then down again to downward dog. So find again a bit of movement and then settle again into the dog. Hopefully feeling a little bit more length and a bit more open. Breathe in. Breathe out. Great. From here we're gonna take the knees down, cross one foot over the other, come to a seat, and just gonna move it forward into the mat. We're gonna bring the legs into an angle for wide-legged seated forward fold. We could bring the hands behind us or sit on a block. You can bring the hands forward Again, you can use a block. You can try to go for peace fingers around the big toes and then lengthen the spine and maybe fold a little bit. Yeah, for me it feels good like this. Okay, maybe if you feel more open you can come a bit lower, but I feel this is enough for me today. So wherever you are, try not to compromise the position of the spine, try to keep it lengthened. As opposed to be hunching too much. So again, maybe you need to be here or here. Maybe you can come here, you can reach for the feet. You've got lots of options. So just work with what your body is allowing you today. One more breath. Great. Then let's breathe the legs to the middle and let's do Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So you could use a belt again if you know you're tight. Maybe again you won't come too low. Depends on how your body feels. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So again, as I was saying, you can keep the hands a bit higher or lower. Maybe you can go around the feet. Maybe you can go peace fingers on the big toes. Lengthen through the spine. And then again, if you can fold, bending the elbows. Try to think of folding from the ribs towards the thighs as opposed to be the head, even though your head moves down. Good. And we'll stay here again, 3 breaths. Strongest stretch for the back body, hamstring, calves, but also think of your lower back, shoulders, the neck. One more breath. Great, then release. And we're gonna make our way onto our back. We're almost done. So lie down, support the back of the thighs and roll it slowly, using a little bit of your core strength. And as soon as you come to your back, let's come onto Happy Baby and Andabalasana. You can hold the back of the thighs, you can hold the calves, you can hold the ankles, you can go again, peace fingers around your big toes. There's a hip opener for the middle and the back of your hips. You want to feel your sacrum grounded, so your hips are not lifting. And then you're going to move a little bit. Your legs are fairly bent. Just think like a baby when they grab their feet, feeling playful. And let's just stop on the middle. You can breathe in and extend a little bit your right knee. Breathe out to fold. Breathe in and maybe repeat it on the left. Breathe out to fold. Maybe do both on the next inhale. Exhale, fold, and then either keep the legs bent up or you can come back onto that sort of deeper inner thigh stretch and again find movement. So if you want to feel more the inner thighs, keep the legs straighter. If you prefer to keep it easier, it's enough for you. Keep the legs more bent. Again, there's no right or wrong. Choose what your body feels happy with. Great. Let's come back to the middle. Return to Uttanasana where we started. See if you can bring the knees maybe a little bit deeper. I can definitely hug my knees a lot deeper now. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, let's begin to settle into Savasana. So if your back is a bit sore, you can do it with your legs bent out. Maybe bring knees to touch, feet a bit apart, and then arms out. That's more relaxing. But otherwise, if you're comfortable with legs straight, let's just bring the legs straight out to a bit of an angle. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Now close your lips and return to a natural rhythm of the breath, which might be slower than when we started, but don't slow it down, just breathe normal. And then just connect with your body. So a quick body scan from the toes, moving all the way along the legs, thighs, the hips, the spine, from the lower back to the upper back, and the front body from the lower tummy to the chest.